Welcome to our deep look into the strange skies over Las Vegas, Nevada. This desert city sits in the southwestern United States, about 270 miles northeast of Los Angeles, and roughly 350 miles southwest of Salt Lake City. Las Vegas is located in Clark County, positioned at about 2,030 feet above sea level in the Mojave Desert. The city borders the Sierra Nevada mountains to the west, and lies approximately 125 miles southeast of the famous Area 51 military installation at Groom Lake. With over 640,000 people living in the city proper and nearly 2.4 million in the greater metropolitan area, Las Vegas has become known for more than just its casinos and entertainment. According to recent studies, Las Vegas ranks third in the entire United States for UFO sightings, with 309 documented reports since 2013. July appears to be the most active month for these strange occurrences. Las Vegas has a colorful history that began long before the bright lights and casino floors. Spanish explorer Rafael Rivera first named the area Las Vegas, meaning the meadows, in 1829, when he discovered freshwater springs in what seemed like an impossible desert location. The area remained largely empty until Mormon settlers arrived in 1855 to establish a fort and mission. However, their settlement lasted only 2 years before they abandoned it, due to crop failures and harsh desert conditions. The modern city of Las Vegas was officially founded on May 15, 1905, when the San Pedro Los Angeles and Salt Lake Railroad auctioned off 110 acres of land near their new railroad tracks. This railroad connection brought people, supplies, and eventually the foundation for what would become America's fastest-growing city in the 20th century. The story of UFO sightings in Las Vegas really begins to get interesting in the late 1980s. But to understand why this area became such a hotspot for strange aerial phenomena, we need to talk about what lies just north of the city. About 90 miles northwest of Las Vegas sits one of the most secretive military installations in the world, Area 51. This classified Air Force base at Groom Lake has been the testing ground for experimental aircraft since the 1950s. The U-2 spy plane, the State Route 71 Blackbird, and the F-117 stealth fighter, all had their first flights in the skies above this restricted zone. Many of the UFO sightings in the Las Vegas area during the 1950s and 1960s were actually these top-secret aircraft being tested at altitudes and speeds that seemed impossible for the technology of that time. Everything changed in November 1989, when a man named Bob Lazar stepped into the spotlight. Lazar claimed he had worked at a facility called S4, located south of the main Area 51 complex near Papoose Lake. His story was unlike anything anyone had heard before. Lazar told Las Vegas television reporter George Knapp that he had been hired by the U.S. Navy to reverse engineer alien spacecraft. According to Lazar, there were 9 flying discs of extraterrestrial origin stored in hangars built into the mountainside. These weren't just any spacecraft, he claimed, but vehicles that used a gravity propulsion system powered by a stable isotope of element 115, which hadn't even been discovered by scientists at the time. Lazar described working on these craft in extraordinary detail. He said the propulsion system worked by amplifying gravity waves, allowing the spacecraft to essentially fall through space toward their destination. The craft could operate in 2 modes, a close-range mode for precision flying, and a long-range mode for interstellar travel. He claimed the aliens who built these vehicles were short, gray beings with large heads and eyes, and that he had seen autopsy photos of these creatures. Lazar also said he had read briefing documents that described alien involvement in human affairs spanning the last 10,000 years. The impact of Lazar's claims was immediate and lasting. His first interview was broadcast on May 15, 1989. Exactly 84 years to the day after Las Vegas was founded. Initially, he appeared in silhouette using the fake name Dennis to protect his identity, but by November of that year, he had revealed his real name and face to the world. Suddenly, Area 51 went from being a barely known military facility to the most famous secret base on Earth. UFO enthusiasts began flocking to the desert roads around Area 51, hoping to catch a glimpse of alien technology being tested. The nearby town of Rachel, Nevada embraced the attention, with the local bar changing its name to The Little Alien and selling alien-themed merchandise. However, Lazar's story faced immediate scrutiny. Investigators looking into his background found serious problems with his claims. The colleges where he said he earned degrees in physics, including MIT and Caltech, had no record of him ever attending. His employment history at Los Alamos National Laboratory was verified, but only as a technician for a contractor company. not as a physicist. In 1990, just a year after going public, Lazar was arrested for his involvement in a prostitution ring. Later, in 2006, he was charged with violating federal laws for shipping restricted chemicals across state lines through his scientific supply company. Despite these credibility issues, Lazar's story refused to die. In 2003, scientists finally created element 115 in laboratory conditions, just as Lazar had predicted. However, this artificially created element was highly radioactive and decayed in fractions of a second, nothing like the stable isotope Lazar described. Still, some people pointed to this as proof that Lazar had inside knowledge of advanced science. The debate over Lazar's claims continues to this day, with some believing he was a brave whistleblower whose records were erased by the government, while others see him as an elaborate hoaxer who got lucky with some scientific predictions. The Lazar story opened the floodgates for UFO reports in the Las Vegas area. Local news stations began taking these reports more seriously, and people who had been hesitant to speak up about their own sightings found the courage to come forward. The city's location in the desert, with clear skies and minimal light pollution away from the Strip, made it an ideal place for spotting unusual aerial phenomena. Add to this the proximity to multiple military installations, including Nellis Air Force Base right next to the city, and Las Vegas became a perfect storm for UFO activity. Throughout the 1990s and 2000s, reports continued to pour in from residents and visitors alike. People described seeing silent triangular craft, glowing orbs, and objects that moved in ways that defied conventional aircraft capabilities. Some sightings occurred right over the famous Las Vegas Strip, with witnesses reporting strange lights hovering above the bright casino lights. Other reports came from the suburban areas that sprawled out into the desert, where families claimed to see large craft silently gliding overhead. One significant case occurred in 2019, when local resident Renee Ostos captured video of strange bright lights in the sky that caused quite a stir around the Las Vegas Valley. The lights moved in formations that didn't match any known aircraft patterns, and they appeared to be much larger and brighter than typical tourist helicopters that frequently fly around the Strip. Initially, some people thought they might be meteors or even UFOs, but the lights remained visible for extended periods, ruling out meteors. The case remains unexplained to this day, but perhaps the most dramatic and controversial UFO incident in Las Vegas history occurred on the night of April 30, 2023. It began with a spectacular green fireball streaking across the sky at 11:50 p.m. This glowing object was captured on Las Vegas police body cameras, and was seen by witnesses across Nevada, California, Arizona, and Utah. The American Meteor Society collected 21 reports of this bright green light, and most experts agreed it was likely a meteor entering Earth's atmosphere. However, what happened next turned this routine meteor sighting into one of the most talked about UFO cases in recent years. About 40 minutes after the fireball sighting, 16-year-old Angel Kenmore called 911 from his family's backyard in a residential area about 80 miles from Area 51. Angel told the emergency dispatcher that he had seen a tall, skinny creature with a greenish color, standing about 8 to 10 feet tall and hiding behind the family's forklift in their backyard. The 911 call was unlike anything the dispatchers had heard before. Angel sounded genuinely frightened as he described not just one, but two creatures in his yard. He said they had big eyes and were looking directly at his family. His father Bobby and brother Joshua both backed up Angel's account, saying they too had seen these beings. The family described the creatures as having no nose, supernatural glowing features, and antennae-like ears. They said one creature appeared to have a bent leg, and was accompanied by a ball of light. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police took the call seriously enough to dispatch officers to investigate. The responding officers found the Kenmore family genuinely shaken by whatever they had experienced. The police searched the backyard but found no evidence of intruders or creatures. However, the family's obvious distress and the correlation with the earlier fireball sighting made this more than just a routine call. The case was investigated for several days before being closed without explanation. The Kenmore family paid a heavy price for reporting their experience. When news of their story broke, they became the target of international attention, ridicule, and even threats. UFO enthusiasts flocked to their home, with some people climbing over their fence hoping to experience their own alien encounter. The family was forced to hire an attorney and post no trespassing signs around their property. Despite the negative attention, all four family members have consistently maintained their story, never changing the details or backing down from their claims. The case took an interesting turn in 2024, when crime scene reconstruction expert Scott Roeder decided to analyze the video footage the Kenmore family had recorded during their encounter. Using frame-by-frame analysis and motion tracking software, Roeder claimed to have identified not one but two beings in the video. He described seeing what appeared to be a head with some kind of cloaking device or smoke around it, peering over the family's fence. Roeder, who has testified as an expert witness in high-profile criminal cases around the world, stated that the video was authentic and had not been altered. According to Roeder's analysis, the footage shows genuine anomalies that couldn't be explained as shadows or camera artifacts. He pointed out that the objects in the video move in ways that suggest they are three-dimensional beings reacting to the family's presence. The motion tracking software identified specific points of movement that corresponded to what would be expected from living creatures trying to hide behind cover. Roeder was so confident in his findings that he opened his analysis up for peer review, challenging other experts to prove him wrong. However, not everyone agrees with Roeder's conclusions. Ben Hansen, host of the Discovery Plus show UFO Witness, believes the video shows nothing more than shadows cast by flashlights held by the Kenmore family members. Hansen and other skeptics argue that in the darkness and confusion of the moment, the family could have easily mistaken shadows, reflections, or even small animals for something more extraordinary. They point out that raccoons, which have large dark eyes and can appear quite large in the darkness, are common in Las Vegas suburban areas. The debate over the Kenmore case highlights a larger pattern in Las Vegas UFO sightings. The city's unique characteristics make it both an ideal location for genuine unexplained phenomena and a place where conventional explanations can be easily misinterpreted. The constant air traffic from McCarran International Airport, now called Harry Reid International Airport, means there are always aircraft in the sky. Military exercises from nearby Nellis Air Force Base add experimental aircraft and unusual flight patterns to the mix. The bright lights of the Strip can create optical illusions and reflections that confuse observers. Yet the sheer volume of reports from Las Vegas suggests that something more than misidentification is happening. Local news station KLAS-TV, the same station that first broadcast Bob Lazar's claims, continues to receive regular reports of unexplained aerial phenomena. These reports come from all types of people: tourists visiting the city, longtime residents, casino workers, and even commercial pilots flying into Harry Reid International Airport. The consistency of certain details across multiple unrelated reports has caught the attention of serious UFO researchers. The recent renewed interest in UFOs at the government level has brought new attention to Las Vegas cases. In 2020, the Pentagon officially released 3 videos showing unidentified aerial phenomena encountered by Navy pilots. This official acknowledgement that the military takes these encounters seriously has encouraged more witnesses to come forward with their own experiences. The parallels between some of the government videos and reports from Las Vegas are striking, particularly descriptions of objects that move without visible propulsion systems and make maneuvers that would be impossible for conventional aircraft. Modern Las Vegas continues to be a hotspot for UFO activity, with sightings reported on a regular basis. The combination of clear desert skies, minimal light pollution outside the city center, and the proximity to classified military facilities creates perfect conditions for spotting unusual aerial phenomena. Social media has made it easier for witnesses to share their experiences and connect with others who have had similar encounters. Video evidence, while often blurry or inconclusive, provides researchers with more data than ever before. The city has embraced its reputation as a UFO hotspot, with several businesses incorporating alien themes into their operations. The Neon Museum preserves signs from the city's past, including some with space-age designs from the atomic era. The National Atomic Testing Museum includes exhibits about Area 51 and UFO phenomena. Multiple tour companies offer trips to the outskirts of Area 51, though visitors can only get within a few miles of the actual base before encountering armed guards and warning signs. The scientific community remains divided on the Las Vegas UFO phenomenon. Skeptics point to the abundance of conventional explanations for most sightings: military aircraft testing, atmospheric phenomena, astronomical events, and the psychological effects of suggestion and expectation. They argue that the fame of Area 51 and the Bob Lazar story have created a kind of confirmation bias, where people are more likely to interpret unusual sights as extraterrestrial in origin. However, a growing number of scientists and researchers are taking a more open-minded approach to these reports. They acknowledge that while the vast majority of UFO sightings can be explained by conventional means, a small percentage remain genuinely puzzling. These researchers focus on the most credible cases, often involving multiple independent witnesses, radar confirmation, or other forms of corroborating evidence. They argue that the stigma surrounding UFO research has prevented serious scientific investigation of potentially important phenomena. The Las Vegas UFO story reflects broader changes in how our society approaches the question of unexplained aerial phenomena. What began as fringe beliefs and conspiracy theories has gradually moved into mainstream discussion. Government officials now openly discuss the need to investigate these encounters for national security reasons. Military personnel are encouraged to report unusual sightings rather than keeping quiet about them. This shift in attitude has led to more thorough investigations and better documentation of incidents. For the people of Las Vegas, living with the UFO phenomenon has become part of daily life. Most residents have either had their own experience or know someone who has. The stories are shared at family gatherings, workplace conversations, and social media posts. Whether they believe in extraterrestrial visitors or not, locals have learned to keep their eyes on the sky and their cameras ready. The possibility that something extraordinary might appear at any moment adds an element of mystery to life in the desert. The economic impact of UFO tourism on Las Vegas shouldn't be underestimated. Thousands of visitors come to the area specifically hoping to have their own close encounter. They stay in hotels, eat at restaurants, buy souvenirs, and contribute to the local economy. Tour companies report steady business taking groups out to the desert for UFO watching expeditions. Even if most people don't see anything unusual, the experience of searching the vast Nevada sky under a blanket of stars is memorable enough to justify the trip. As we look toward the future, Las Vegas seems certain to remain at the center of UFO discussions. The city's continued growth means more people living in the area, and potentially more witnesses to unusual phenomena. Advances in camera technology and smartphone capabilities mean that future sightings are likely to be better documented than ever before. The military's ongoing development of new aircraft technologies ensures that some reports will continue to have conventional explanations, while others may remain genuinely mysterious. The story of UFOs over Las Vegas is ultimately a very human story. It's about people trying to make sense of experiences that challenge their understanding of the world. It's about the tension between skepticism and wonder, between the desire for rational explanations and the possibility that we might not be alone in the universe. Whether you believe the witnesses or not, their accounts reflect our deepest questions about our place in the cosmos and our hopes for contact with something greater than ourselves. Today, as Las Vegas continues to grow and evolve, the UFO phenomenon remains an integral part of the city's identity. The bright lights of the Strip may draw millions of visitors each year, but for many, the real attraction lies in the possibility of glimpsing something truly extraordinary in the vast desert sky above. In a city built on the promise that anything can happen, perhaps it's only fitting that some of the most mysterious and compelling UFO encounters in American history have played out against the backdrop of the neon-lit Nevada desert. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.